And now you can see the Backseat Mogul Show in all its video glory on our YouTube page at roughedge.tv.
Rough Edge FM at roughedgefm.com.
There's no better place for breakfast or lunch than Harbor Cove Cafe. This hidden treasure, located in the beautiful Ventura Harbor, is locally owned and operated and serves your favorites like hamburgers, sandwiches, and fish and chips, as well as island specialties like their delicious Loco Moco and famous Hawaiian burrito. Enjoy the magnificent view of Ventura's famous Two Trees and the Topa Topa Mountains while you sip on something from their full espresso bar, or perhaps tip back a cocktail mixed up by the legendary Dazu Prime. For more information, please visit online at harborcovecafe.net or give them a call at 805-658-1639. Harbor Cove Cafe, located at 1867 Spinnaker Drive in the Ventura Harbor. We'll see you there.
Showbiz is a cruel and shallow money trench, a long plastic hallway where thieves and pimps run free and good men die like dogs for no good reason. There's also a bad side.
This is the Backseat Mogul Show live here on Rough Edge FM. This is me. I am our Scott Bolton, also known as the Backseat Mogul. And this is a show where we talk about showbiz. Johnny D is sitting over there.
Good morning, Scotty. Am I looking at you?
Nope, that's the wrong way.
Oh.
See, you're correct. I have to point the opposite direction to indicate you. But you're correct. So
I can
it's
look
all
at,
good.
Actually looking at you, I'm looking at you.
That's
instead of looking over there to appear like I'm
like that. You have to do that fake thing. I could mirror the screen, but that freaks me out even more. So I'm not going to do that. Folks, if you look in the background of Johnny, we got the Spellbound sign. Spellbound is a magic show that is performed here once a week here at the House of Magic. Also, we got our sound paneling up finally. We got it up in several places here in the studio. Took us 8 years to stick those things on there. They're sitting in a stack over here. 8 years before I got around to putting them up. But since I have a little more time on my hands these days, I was able to get it. However, despite all the improvements we've made here in the studio, I did make one rather severe mistake.
Oh, no. Who, you?
I got this chair, and it was in two pieces. The base and the chair. So I hastily put it together and brought it to the studio. It hasn't felt comfortable ever since. And I thought because, well, maybe it just broke, like that chair was all messed up too until Jim came in and fixed it. Then I had an epiphany. Maybe the base has to go on a certain way.
Ooh.
So this morning I brought in my drill. I forgot my drill bits, so that didn't help. And turned the chair over, and there's a sticker on the front of the chair that says front. And there's a engraving in the base of the chair that says
front.
And do they face the same way? No, they do not. So when I get my it takes a particular drill bit. It's not a Phillips head or a slot. It's one of those octagonal things. So I've got that. I just thought it was in with the drills, which is where you think it would be.
So
it's not.
Was it take like an Allen head or a
something
hex?
like that? Whatever it's called.
Could be a hex bit.
Whatever the hell it's called. It takes something I don't have. That's all that matters. So
I bet you Jim does.
I'm sure he does. But I don't have time to stick around today because I'm taking my mommy to breakfast. We're going out to La Cabana to try their breakfast this morning. So we'll see how that turns out.
Oh, speaking of going out for breakfast, last Sunday, Easter Sunday, I went to Cafe 126 for my Easter Sunday breakfast.
I didn't realize they were open. I understand they have terrific breakfast, though. Doug and Michelle used to go there almost every week.
Well, I made a big mistake. I wanted to eat light. So
why? It's Easter. You eat heavy.
well, I know that, but so what I did was I'm looking at the thing, and they had a little combo. I could get 2 eggs, 2 bacon, and
A partridge in a pear tree.
exactly 2 pancakes. And I thought they were supposed to be like not silver dollar pancakes, but small pancakes.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, that doesn't happen.
No. They're the size of vinyl records.
They were bigger than the plate, and
But they're good though, right?
and thicker than the plate.
Yeah.
Oh, they were so good.
Usually when Shelley and I go out for pancakes, we'll order one order and we'll split it because, I want to eat my bacon. I want to eat my eggs. I want to eat the potatoes. And then they don't have that kind of stuff at La Cabana. They have Mexican dishes. So they'll have like chili chilies and huevos rancheros and things like that. So haven't tried it yet. It'll be our first time. But since Shelley is out in Wyoming and mom is injured, got her surgery yesterday for her hand, she said, let's just go out to breakfast. I said, okay, that'll work.
Nice. So
that's why you're going hungry this morning, sir.
Just as well, because
Johnny wants to blame his legs cramping up for him getting a bad sleep last night, and that probably was part of it. But I will also let you know that Johnny had 2 drinks at Ventiki, so that's all it takes for you. 3 drinks, so he can say, "Oh, my legs cramped up." That's all it was. But you folks out there know it was more than that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But that's not where I was going.
Oh.
Remember when we were talking about?
You can never tell where he's going.
You told me yesterday was deep dish pizza day.
Deep dish pizza day. That's right.
Well, I went last night.
Where'd you get that pizza
at? Little Caesars.
Oh, it wasn't Little Caesars. Was it the real deep dish stuff?
Well, no, it wasn't Chicago style. It was Detroit style. So it was deep dish.
Okay, wait.
But not as deep.
Isn't
as
Detroit
style
with the sauce on top?
I don't know. All I know is that it was good. No, it had the vegetables because I got the combo.
Yeah,
and it had the sausage and the pepperoni and the green peppers and the mushrooms. All that was on top. Their sauce was underneath the cheese.
All right. So the pizza styles are Detroit style pizza, Neapolitan pizza, New York style pizza, Sicilian pizza, Hawaiian pizza. Don't call it that. They'll kill you. Greek pizza, California style pizza, Chicago style pizza, and St. Louis style pizza. And there's 15 more, but I'm not going to go through them. But let's look at the Detroit style. Let's see what that's the one that's. See, it does not look like it's the sauces on top, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Let's try. Okay, so let's.
Now, that Neapolitan looks like it might be the sauce.
No, it's definitely not Neapolitan.
Oh, look at the New York style then.
New York style. I'm sure it's not that. No. Sicilian, maybe?
No.
Well, you know what? There's a quick answer here. What kind of pizza does Red Dwarf Las Vegas serve? Because that's where I had it. Oh, it says Detroit style.
Oh, okay.
And in that case, and maybe there's different types of Detroit style. But that place had the best Detroit style pizza I've ever had. It was amazing.
Well, you saw
the sauce was all on top.
You saw the picture that I sent.
Yeah.
And it was good.
How much was it?
How much was it? It was
the sauce. Oh, you know what?
$9.99 plus tax.
That's pepperoni on top, not sauce. Yeah. I don't know if you folks can see Johnny's pizza. I don't know if you care to see Johnny's pizza, but there it is right there.
It was good.
So anyway.
And I froze the other half.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because they had it cut
it's big.
in squares.
Yeah.
So I individually but put them in baggies and put them in the freezer.
We have a pretty big day planned today. We had a big day yesterday, but we got a big day planned today. Like I said, we are in the Backseat Mogul Show an hour early. Sorry for that, folks. We are, then I'm going to breakfast with my mother at La Cabana. And then I'm thinking 1:00, Johnny, we'll meet out at Wagon Wheel Brewery, grab a burger or something there. And then we're going to go see Late Night with the Devil, which is a horror movie. If you haven't heard about it, it takes place in 1971. Is it 79? 71 or 79. And it's a Johnny Carson like celebrity who has something horrible happen live on air. So very much looking forward to that. It's got great reviews. You know what? Let's see what the reviews are for that right now. Let's see what the review says for Late Night with the Devil. And I think if you have Shudder, you can actually watch it on Shudder now. But I don't have Shudder, and plus I'd rather go see it in a movie theater. Late Night with the Devil, according to Rotten Tomatoes, has a score of 97. Did you hear that, Johnny? 97 out of 158 reviews. The audience score is 82%. So there's something going on there. Delightfully dark, Late Night with the Devil proves possession horror isn't played out and serves as clicking the wrong button and getting a different screen. And serves as an outstanding showcase for David Dasmachian. All right, so I'm very much looking forward to that. So that's at 2:10, and then this evening we're going to head out and meet Julie at the Grape just for a drink or two, and then not stick around for the show probably. But anyway, that's a pretty good day. That is a pretty good day. So that's what we got planned. Last night I went home. I slept more than I did anything else. I stopped at McDonald's and got their Big Mac meal for $6.50. That's on the app. That's a pretty good deal. And sat there with the dogs and watched Star Trek. And I watched Star Trek twice because I woke up in the middle of at the end of it. I'm like, oh, probably should watch that so I know what's going on. So I had to go back and watch it again. And so I didn't get to any wild cards. It's wild cards, right? Not wild.
Yeah, wild card.
So I'm
wild
sorry.
card.
Johnny wanted me to go home and watch wild cards, but that was not going to happen. It was not in the, you should excuse the expression, cards. Okay, enough of that. Also last night, I was supposed to go to the world premiere of Ape versus Mecha Ape, The New Empire. I don't think that's the actual title. But I couldn't go because I had to stick around close to home for particular reasons. Plus, my son and his fiance were supposed to go. They were actually my ticket in, and they got snowed in up in Fraser Park, so they could not make it. Let me see if I can find the title of that for you folks, because I watched Ape versus Mecha Ape, which is one of those cheesy sci-fi movies like Sharknado, and that's all I'm going to say about Ape versus Mecha Ape. But I was looking forward to going to the premiere. You know, it would have been fun to go to a premiere. Plus, they had a pre-party at a brewery. It would have been a great night, but we just couldn't work it out. So we did what we had to do. All right, so that's enough for us. Let's talk about the box office here. So as everybody knows around the world, Godzilla Kong: The New Empire made tons more money than they expected it to. They thought it would top out at maybe 45 million. It topped out at 80 million for the weekend. It's already past $200 million worldwide, so it's well on its way to making back its budget. The director, Adam Wingard, is already talking about the next one. Some complaints about the movie have been that there's not enough Godzilla in it. For a movie that says Godzilla Kong, it's really about Kong. Wingard says he's going to fix that next time. Next time the movie's going to focus on Godzilla. So we'll see what happens to Godzilla next time. But anyway, it looks like it's going to repeat. It's going to be number one again this weekend with 32 to $36 million, they're thinking. And that follows up the other new movies that are out, which is The Omen. What is it called? The Omen, The New Omen or something?
No, I just had it.
I did too. I don't know what went away with it.
It is The First Omen.
The First Omen, which has got pretty decent reviews as well. Let's take a look at that real quick. The First Omen. I don't think it got the same reviews that Late Night with the Devil got, but yeah, First Omen's got 78% on critics and 66% on audience score. That and Monkey Man are battling for second place because neither one of them is going to beat Godzilla this weekend. And Monkey Man is sitting at 86% good reviews and 86% audience score. So Monkey Man to me just looks like Dev Patel pretending to be John Wick. I'm okay with that, by the way, because I really like the John Wick movies. But those are what the box office looks like if you're going out this weekend. Late Night with the Devil's been out long enough. It probably isn't even the top 10, but I'm looking forward to that. There's something about going to see a horror movie in a movie theater that makes it kind of cool. So we'll take a look at that. What else we got going on in the news? Disney has announced Toy Story 5. Here's the story with the Toy Stories. I don't think they've made a bad one yet. Have they?
No, I don't think so.
And last time they wanted to make one, Pixar said, no, we don't want to make any Toy Story movies. And Disney said, okay, then we'll go ahead and make them ourselves because we don't need you to do them. We can do them on our own because they bought Pixar. So Pixar said, no, we'll do it. And don't ruin our legacy. I don't know what the situation with this one is. Is Toy Story 5 going to be Pixar or is it going to be Disney? Because all it says here is that Woody and Buzz have a date to return to theaters. Disney will release Pixar's, there's my answer, Pixar's Toy Story 5 on June 19th, 2026. So it is Pixar involved again. You think they can do it again? You think they can, do you think Toy Story's played out or do you think there's some still room there?
I think there's still room for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you think Toy Story, they do it for kids. The kid in all of us.
The thing with those movies is that they have so much heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost scary. I read a review and it said that there's a scene in Toy Story 4, I believe, that if you don't shed a tear in that scene, that you're not a human being. And so my son and I took that as a challenge. Let's go see if we're human beings. So we went to the theater, the Regency down here in Ventura, and we watched Toy Story 4. And this particular part, we both looked at each other and our eyes were full of tears. We both knew at the same moment what scene it was.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not going to spoil it by saying what we'll talk about that off air.
No, go ahead.
I think
Toy Story 4 is very old. Go ahead and talk about it.
Okay. Does this have to do with
this is excellent.
An actor who voiced one of the characters.
You don't know his name?
I do, but I saw this guy in concert and he was great. CPO Sharkey.
Don Rickles?
Yeah, Don Rickles. Does it have to do with Don Rickles?
It does not. It only has to do with the characters. It's got nothing to do. It's a part of the story. Okay, if you don't want to know what the part is, folks, then you can turn off the sound for 10 seconds. But there's a part in the movie where they're all sliding to their death and there's no way they can escape. They know they're going to die. And Woody and his girlfriend are on one side and Buzz is on the other side. And they're both sliding into this thing that's going to chew them to pieces. Mm-hmm. And they know there's no way to escape. And they look at each other, exchange glances, and it's going to tear up now. Woody reaches out his hand, just says, we're going to die. Let's die together. He doesn't say it, but his eyes say, we're going to die. Let's die together, brother. And Buzz reaches, and you're just weeping because this happens. And I won't say what happens next, but it's pretty freaking cool. So it's excellent. So that's what they do in the Toy Story movies. And I want them to do it. They're saying that they're worried about it because the spinoff Lightyear didn't work. Lightyear didn't feel like a Pixar movie. I know it was, but it didn't feel
really
right.
It
wasn't
Buzz
Tim Allen.
Like we know Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, it wasn't Tim Allen either. It was Chris Evans. I don't know why they did that. Don't know what the reasoning is. And don't tell me politics because that's a load of crap. Hollywood's about money. That's all they care about.
Oh yeah, and I don't know. Maybe they thought with Chris Evans, because of who Chris Evans is, the character that he plays in the Marvel universe.
Yeah,
that might generate more box office.
Or maybe Tim Allen wanted too much money, and that Disney. What does Disney say when you ask for too much money? Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So who knows? But it'll be interesting to see who does the voice for Toy Story 5. Mm-hmm. It better be Tim Allen. So we'll see what happens there. So
I wonder if that might have something to do with the fact that it's rumored that Home Improvement will be coming back to ABC.
That rumor was I've read some things on it recently. It was something that Tim Allen said, but he's had no talks with ABC or anything. It's just something he would be willing to do. Mm. So it's not like it's imminent. Imminent. It could happen, but
I even saw an interview with the actress who played
the Tool-Time Girl.
Tool-Time Girl.
Yeah,
and even she was talking about it.
What she actually said was that Tim was very excited about it.
Well, she said she was too.
Well, of course, but that doesn't mean that ABC signed them up.
But then
I think Tim's trying to get it up and running again. And and I wouldn't be surprised if ABC picks it up, especially before for like the Disney Channel or something.
But then what I read the other day, maybe it was last week, that Patricia Richardson and Jonathan Taylor Thomas, it's funny I can remember their names, They have no interest in reprising their roles.
Yeah, and well, what was her exact words? Patricia Richardson.
I don't.
And I don't remember the kid's name, but the other kid. She goes, "Yeah, how are we going to do that? He's a felon now."
Oh, the one that played the oldest.
Yeah. So I don't. It's not. Everybody got excited about it like it was imminent, and it's far from imminent.
I know exactly how they could do his character the same way. I think it was the last season of Home Improvement when Jonathan Taylor Thomas, when he actually went off to school, I think they had his the character he played.
Johnny, it's not about them figuring out what to do with the characters.
Oh, okay.
It's about them putting together a deal that works for everybody. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it for the Disney Channel, because that's ABC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and but it's not. When you were talking about it, I thought they were going to sign a deal the next week. Then I started reading about it. It's not even close.
So
it's Tim that's trying to put it together.
I would like to see it come back because that was one of my favorite shows.
You actually wrote a script for it.
I did,
and it wasn't half bad.
Thank you.
Which means it was half bad. You got to keep that in mind.
Well, okay. Wait, no. Oh, I like that shirt.
There's John going. The audience doesn't even see that, John. You realize that, right?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so he's talking about John Cena's shirt in Argyle. Argyle is going to be on Apple TV beginning on April 12th. I had fun with Argyle. A lot of people didn't like it because, a lot of people didn't like it because it's way over the top. There's one sequence that's a gunfight that's treated like a dance scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was funny. I mean, it was ridiculous, but it was funny.
Not just dance, but like ice skating.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't ice.
It was crazy, but it was a lot of fun. I don't know why they were talking about worst picture of the year, and all these people were chiming in Argyle. I'm going, no, I don't think so. If so, it's been a pretty good year for movies. But if you haven't seen Argyle, both Johnny and I recommend it, and it'll be on Apple TV on April 12th. Matthew Vaughn directed it. Henry Cavill and John Cena are the stars. And that's all some good news. Couple of cancellations we have for TV shows. Quantum Leap, the remake, has been canceled after 2 seasons.
Which really irritates me because I was a big fan of the original Quantum Leap. And I was really hoping with this, it's not really a retelling. It's a continuation with a different character.
Which they hinted at, if not executed in the original, right?
Which I would have liked to have seen them actually find Sam Beckett and bring him back. Who's he? Sam Beckett.
Just kidding. Scott Bakula's character.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I know I say this every time. Scott Bakula, nice guy. He was very pleasant when we pitched a show to him. So, I mean, I thought it might do better than it did as well. And I think the major screw up they did is because who was his handler in that? What was that actor's name?
The female.
No. All right, folks, we're going back to IMDb. Hold on.
Oh, you're talking about
He
the
passed
original
away.
Quantum Leap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Legendary actor. We both should be ashamed of ourselves for not figuring this out.
Name?
Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, Dean Stockwell.
Dean Stockwell unfortunately passed away. Get Scott Bakula to take that part. I thought that would have been brilliant, but they didn't. And anyway, I think people liked it, but not enough to keep it on the air. So unfortunately, Quantum Leap is canceled. Also canceled for a second season after its first season is Death in the Details. And that's the Mandy Patinkin mystery series that I can't imagine having a second season. It played out like a mini series and was very good. Yeah, I mean, Mandy Patinkin. I mean, it's not going to get much better than that, but also a terrific cast all the way around. Great mystery, great story. But I thought it was a one-off. And then they said, it got canceled before season 2 could begin.
Now that's
I can't imagine it's season 2.
Now that title was Death in the Details or
Death I think it's Death and the Details, but let's find out. Death Details. Mandy. Death and Other Details.
Oh, other.
Yeah, okay. Death and Other Details. So anyway, that's canceled as well. That's not going to be back. What else we got going on here?
I know another show that's canceled.
What's that? Maybe he doesn't.
Magnum PI. It moved from CBS to NBC. And that's another show. When I heard that it was being canceled, I'm going, oh man, because
you weren't happy with it at first.
Well, no, I wasn't.
Because that's another thing where they screwed up, because they should have got Tom Selleck to play the John Hillerman part.
Well, no, what I would like to have seen.
Well, I don't care what you want. I'm just kidding.
No,
I don't care.
What I would have liked to have seen was Tom Selleck play the writers, the guy who wrote the books that he patterned after Magnum's.
Who was that? I don't even remember.
Robin.
John Hillerman.
No, John Hillerman was the major domo.
What's your mouth? This is a family show.
Wait, what?
Oh, nothing.
No.
See, I didn't even know who you're talking about.
In the new Quantum Leap.
I never saw a single episode. Wait, okay, hold on. We're talking about the original.
In the
was
original,
there somebody, a novelist or somebody who wrote his adventures?
Right.
I didn't
Robin
know
Masters was the character's name, and you never met him. You may have heard his voice, but you never saw him. John Hillerman played the guy who was the caretaker of the Robin Masters estate, which was called Robin's Nest.
According to this, Higgins really was Robin Masters.
Well, that was...
I think it's a fan theory.
I think you might be right on that. But I thought it would have been cool to have Tom Selleck.
It would have been. But you know, he don't come cheap.
No, he don't.
So I can understand that as well. Let's see what else we got in the news.
That's another show. His show that's on right now, the Blue Bloods. I heard that this is its last season.
Yeah, but you know what? I don't think it's being canceled so much as the producers have said, okay, we've reached our point. And I as we discussed last week, I think that's the smart way to go. Sometimes you just run out of stories. So stop. You know, don't. And I know it's impossible to say, don't take the money, because it's not just your money. Mm-hmm. It's the cast money, the writers' money, the people who work behind the camera money, the craft services table, all those people. It's a multi, I mean, there's hundreds of jobs on a TV series, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you're going to ruin your legacy. And how many times does that happen? A lot. There are very few shows who survived their final episode and succeeded. Justified is the first one that comes to mind. I thought Justified had a very good ending for a series that was on that. And apparently it wasn't an ending, because there was a new Justified that came out.
Is that still going?
No, it was only one season. It was a mini series.
Oh, okay.
But Timothy Oliphant says he does want to return to the character because he wants to see Raylan play pickleball. Timothy Oliphant is apparently a huge pickleball fan. So
yeah, I think quite a while back we talked about that. We
have our first image of Christian Bale as Frankenstein's monster from Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride. You think that's about the Bride of Frankenstein, Johnny?
I had no idea about this. Would have to be The Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I'm sure that it is. I didn't realize that Maggie Gyllenhaal was directing it.
I didn't know that they were doing one.
Christian Bale plays the monster. Jessie Buckley is the bride. Jessie Buckley is great. Penelope Cruz, Peter Sarsgaard, and Annette Bening are also in the film. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get this image, folks, for you so you can take a look at it here on the screen. Give me 1 second here. I got to do all these stupid tricks to get this to work, but I'm going to do it. So anyway, it's pretty cool. It looks like it's what do you think of that monster, Johnny? It's Frankenstein's monster.
I'm quite interested because, I was a big fan of the original monsters that I grew up with, Frankenstein, Dracula. I think that's probably where I started really liking stories about vampires, just because of Bela Lugosi. And,
Frankenstein's not a vampire, right?
Well, I know that, but well, what if he got bit? He could be.
Okay, that's a whole different story.
But the mummy, the werewolf, I liked.
The what?
The werewolf.
What?
Woof woof. I
don't understand what that is.
The werewolf.
Oh, werewolf. Wolf. I see what you're trying to say. And here's Christian Bale, as you can see there. Mm-hmm. It looks like he's got a tattoo there. And he's apparently works at a gas station. I'm
Looks
guessing.
like Love.
Huh?
Or is that Nope? It's either Love or Nope.
No, it's Hope.
Oh, Hope. Well, there's a shadow and it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Hope. And then some staples. Unpleasant. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun. I'm with you. I was always a Monster fan, mostly because of my grandmother. She would sit up with me at night, and we would watch horror movies, which were called horror movies back then. They still were, but they're not like today's horror movies, like Creature of the Black Lagoon and Frankenstein and the Wolfman. And and my favorite is the Creature of the Black Lagoon, though. If I have to, I've always been a huge fan of the Creature of the Black Lagoon. I've got a small collection of Creature from the Black Lagoon figures. The best one I have is a resin bank that my son got me. It's a stupid piggy bank. You wouldn't think it'd be cool. It's so awesome. I'll send you a picture of it later. It is so cool. It's when I got it. He's got these long nails on his webbed hands, and they had plastic straws on them so nobody would break them off. Well, I had to take them off, but now I'm always worried if there's an earthquake, he's going to break his nails. The Creature of the Black Lagoon.
I still have one left. It's a box of the Aurora monsters, which has Frankenstein, Dracula, the Creature, and the Mummy.
Yeah, that's a good box. Why didn't you sell that?
Wolfman in it.
There's no Wolfman in it. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I did sell one.
There might be a Wolfman in it, but there's no Wolfman.
I bought it at Toys R Us.
The world's biggest toy store?
Well, it was.
Yeah.
And they were on sale. And I bought like 3 of them, I think, 3 or 4 of them. It was what they had left. And I got them for like $20 a piece. And I've sold 2 of them. One of them I sold to somebody in the UK, United Kingdom, for those who don't know. And
out of the 8 billion of you out there, I bet you 7 billion of you knew that. But anyway, okay. And the rest of them don't speak. So they're babies.
Okay, it's for them.
Yeah.
But I got over $300 for that, plus shipping.
Did you really have to say the UK? That's United Kingdom.
But I still have one left, and why
don't you build it? You used to be a master model builder.
I'm thinking about it, but I want to find out what it's worth before I do that.
I loved putting together models, but I was too impatient to paint them. Because you should paint first, right? Isn't that what they tell you?
Well, it depends on.
Yeah, does it?
Yeah, because when you open up a model, whether it's a monster model or a car model or an airplane model or even a boat model, the pieces are on it's like a frame. Then you have to work them off to either cut them out of the frame so you can glue them together. Well, some people will paint the pieces while they're on that frame. And then after the paint dries and all that, then they will work them out, cut them out of the frame, and then start gluing them together. The thing is, when you cut them out of that frame, then you have to touch up where the part was actually part of that frame. So
it depends really on.
Yeah, it depends on what part and whether it's going to be on the outside, whether it's going to be on the inside, if it's like an airplane, whether it's a jet plane. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I was just too impatient. I wanted to build it, and then I'd build it and I go, oh, I wish I would have painted that. It'd been really cool. But I was terrible at painting anyway, so it's just as well. I did learn one trick though. I built a caveman diorama for school, and the caveman, it was great, but he had this it was orange plastic or flesh plastic, right? And he had these indentions in his chest that was supposed to be his chest hair. So I read this thing, and I don't know where, because the internet wasn't around when I did this, that you paint his chest black and then wipe the paint off with a cloth, and it left the deep indentions black, but it left his chest flesh colored, and it looked great. It was like, I thought that was an awesome tip. It worked fantastic. All right, so we have some news about Babylon 5. There's talking about doing a reboot, and the creator, J. Michael Straczynski, says that it looks like things are going to happen. He says it's just been a matter of time and obstacles. We were going to go to CW originally, then Warner got it back. Then we were going to take it to the market, but then the Discovery purchase happened, and that put us on ice for a while. But things are moving ahead. So we may see the Babylon 5 reboot sooner rather than later. Did you watch Babylon 5?
Yes, I did. And I knew, actually, you went to school with somebody who was a extra on that show.
Who would that be?
Richard.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. In other news, the rumors are buzzing, and I don't know if there's any truth to this. This is definitely just a rumor bin. But according to sources, the Orville has been renewed and is getting ready to put things back together and go for another season. I think season 4. Now, I thought the Orville was dead and in a box, but the rumors are flying, and they say it's from reliable sources that the Orville will be returning, which I'm very much looking forward to. I loved the Orville. It was one of my favorite shows. And I get it. It was just a Star Trek carbon copy. Mm-hmm. It was Seth MacFarlane playing in his box because he could. I'm so jealous of him, but he did a good show. It was a good show. And, it started out because it's Seth MacFarlane. You think it's going to be filthy. And he managed to get some dirty jokes in there. But the dirty jokes kind of faded away as the popularity built, and he could do what he wanted to do. And he told some really good stories. So I hope that's true. I hope that we get another season of the Orville.
There's an English talk show, which
quite. My brother always says.
What?
He always says quite when you say English.
It was quite good.
Hello, mate.
Oh, yes, it was quite good. I really liked it. I can't remember what the name of it was, but that's all right. He would have these guests come on.
Wait, you can't remember and you're talking about it?
Well, yeah. The Graham
Big help,
Graham
John.
Norton is the Graham Norton
there you go.
show.
Okay.
And
so you can remember.
Oh, yeah. And he's had a lot of American actors come on, and they talk about projects that they've done and things like it's like Tom Cruise was on it. They had the people from some of the actors from Game of Thrones. Well, he had Seth MacFarlane on it once, and they started asking him about the voices he does. So he would answer their questions in the different voices that he did on the not the Orville, but on
Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Yeah. And I hate when they do that because I don't want to see their face saying the character. It kind of ruins it for me. It's like peeking into the hood, but it's probably fun though to watch because that guy's a comic genius. He's a comic. I can't believe that the same guy who did Family Guy, which I tried, folks. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But the same guy did the Orville.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's stunning. And have you ever heard him sing?
Oh, and
he's got like a Sinatra voice.
Yeah, and this is the same guy that also played Ted.
Yeah,
the bear,
and
talking stuffed bear.
Ted 1, Ted 2, and I think there's a Ted TV series. It's amazing. Good for you, Seth. But I'm really mad that you get to play in the Star Trek box without getting caught.
But when he had Tom Cruise was on the show, one of the female guests was the young lady who played on Game of Thrones. She played the Mother of Dragons.
Yes.
And she was sitting right next to Tom. Did I say Tom Jones? Or
you said Tom Cruise.
That's who I meant, Tom Cruise. She was all giddy and all that because she always wanted to meet him.
Emilia Clarke.
Yeah, and she always wanted to meet him, and she got to meet him. Not only meet him, sitting right there.
It would be giddy to meet Tom Cruise. What else the guy's probably the biggest movie star in the world right now. He produces. If you look at a Tom Cruise movie these days that he's in, he's usually the producer too. And I'm not talking executive producer. He's usually the producer. And no matter what you think about Tom Cruise, the man knows how to make movies.
Yes, he does.
And he continues to do so. I'm looking forward to that last. Did you see the previous Mission Impossible?
Not yet.
Dead Reckoning. Oh, so good. Stunningly good. Can't wait for the follow-up because it's part 1 of 2. So we got to wait for part 2 to come. So we'll see how that all ends up.
That's what I hate about Dune or the latest incarnation. Yes, thank you.
Incarnation, if you're mad at it.
Yeah, though that too.
Tarnation.
But they released Dune and then part 1, and then part 2.
Yeah.
And I don't want to, when you're watching a TV show, that's one thing where they've got an episode arc. But when it comes to a movie, I don't want to wait. They did the same thing with.
Well, do you want to sit through a 6-hour movie? Because that's what you do.
Well, true. But do you remember back in the 70s or 80s, The Three Musketeers?
Sure.
With Raquel Welch as
Michael York.
Yes.
Yes.
No, not
Oliver
Michael
Reed?
York. Yes.
Okay.
Oliver Reed, Richard Chamberlain. When they released it, or when they filmed it, what I heard was that the actors didn't know that they were going to, what they filmed was going to be cut in half. So the studio could release part 1 and then part 2.
Interesting.
But the actors, what I heard, only got paid for 1 movie, not 2.
Well, they only shot 1 movie.
Yeah.
They got cut. That's like Kill Bill. Tarantino wanted to do it as 1 movie, and the studio said, no, you got to cut it in 2 pieces. So he did. And they're both freaking great as well. In other music news, Kiss has sold their catalog, their imagery, their logo, and everything to a company called Pop Fun, something like that. Anyway, it's a big deal. They got $300 million for it. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, that's only $300 million. Bruce Springsteen got $500 million. Do we really need to compare Kiss and Bruce Springsteen? Springsteen's way bigger than Kiss. It always has been. Kiss is huge, don't get me wrong, but $300 million is a lot of money. Plus, and I'm not sure what this means, but they said that Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons both kept shares of that sale to the point that they can be the decision makers. They decide what happens and what doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you get $300 million in final cut, I think you've got a deal.
Now, would you consider this being Kiss sells out, or Kiss?
Well, why would
the next Kiss moves to the next level?
I don't understand the term sells out. I never did.
I'm trying to figure out how to put this in my notes.
I mean, Gene Simmons, just Kiss sells catalog. That's how you sell it. It's not a sellout.
Well, will they still perform as Kiss?
No, they're done. They just finished their final tour.
They actually did.
They actually did. They finished in New York. Gene Simmons said he would never put the makeup back on again. He's on tour still, but he's just the Gene Simmons band. And Paul Stanley said the same thing. They are not getting back on stage. What they will have is avatars. And those are like the holographic images that they have, like they've done with Ronnie James Dio and ABBA and what have you. Mm-hmm. So they will have live shows like that, but they will be computer generated characters rather than the actual band. So, I mean, the ABBA tour did very well. The Ronnie James Dio image thing, they'd only used a couple times, but it also worked very well. And we've seen other people do it. They did it with Jimi Hendrix and other people as well. Mm-hmm. But Kiss is the first band that's going all out that way, maybe second after ABBA, now that I think about it. But here's the real question. Are they going to ever write new music? Probably not as Kiss.
Not as Kiss.
So these avatars will go out and perform the concerts, but they're going to be all the old Kiss songs. That might get stale, I would think, even though the old Kiss songs are all pretty good songs. But you know what I'm saying, though? It might get to the point that's like people are, man, can you do something new? I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. The band I was most worried about, though, was Mini Kiss. Mini Kiss is a collection of little people who dress up in the Kiss costumes and perform Kiss concerts. And I mean, obviously they can't sell the people in the band, but they could sell that Mini Kiss because with all that full makeup on and everything, Kiss was involved. They have to be. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. The whole thing's very interesting, but I mean, Gene Simmons is almost 80. Paul Stanley's almost 80. Somebody comes to you and offers you $300 million in creative control. You're going to say no? I don't think so. It's what you do. And, Bob Dylan's done it. Springsteen's done it. Neil Young has done it. So I hate the term sells out. It's a natural progression of things. When you've got your whole career behind you, take the money and run. This is the first thing I learned in business class. Why do you build a business?
To make money.
Nope. You build a business to sell a business. That's the whole point of having a business. So didn't they do that?
Yeah,
they did. And
can you think of another rock and roll group or anybody for that matter who had a line of caskets?
I can't off the top of my head. I'm sure they're out there, but yeah.
But Kiss had a Kiss casket.
And actually many people have been buried in them.
Mm-hmm.
Vinnie Paul from Pantera buried in one, as I recall. Was it Vinnie Paul? One of them. It was Dimebag Darrell. Dimebag Darrell was buried in one. Let's see what else we got going on here. I know this is a weird show today because we just didn't have a lot to talk about, and John was drinking too much last night at Ventiki. Will Trent renewed for season 3.
Sweet.
At ABC. I really enjoyed that show, mainly because of the lead actor's performance, but also because it's a police procedural, but a little bit more fictionalized. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It plays more like a fiction thing. Which it is, of course, because that's what it is. But my point is it's not stupid like The Rookie. And I love The Rookie. Don't get me wrong. But the other day, the last episode of The Rookie, they ended up trying to adopt a baby. Nathan and his...
Spoiler,
I don't care.
Spoiler
you can't spoil friggin' Rookie. And I'm thinking, who would let that guy adopt a baby when all he does is get shot at week after week after week after week? Don't put a baby in his hands. Somebody's going to be shooting at him soon. I don't care. I watched The Rookie. I like The Rookie. It is the silliest show on television. But Nathan Fillion and the rest of the cast as well, with one exception. There's one actor on there who's terrible. It's fun. That's okay. Will Trent feels more like a serious piece.
Mm-hmm.
And there's lots of layers to it, even though it's very different than the book. They've made some rather serious changes from the book to the TV series.
Well,
as I read it, it's difficult for me sometimes because it says she shook her blonde hair. She doesn't have blonde hair in that. It's just weird like that.
I haven't read any of the books, and I know it's based on books.
They're excellent, by the way.
And speaking of books, do you have Amazon.com?
I do.
Well, that means you have Amazon Prime. And if you have Amazon Prime, you go to Amazon.com, look up R. Scott Bolton, author, and you're going to find a plethora. I just love that word I made up.
Yeah.
I think I made it up, or maybe I heard it someplace. A plethora of books by R. Scott Bolton. And the latest book that is available is Death in the Mogul. My favorite of all the books that I have been privileged to read by R. Scott Bolton is Dead Dick. And my understanding is there's going to possibly be another
strong chance that but regarding that, I have to change the title because for years I've been telling you that if I ever did a sequel to Dead Dick, that it would be called Dick Dead Again. But he's still dead. So I think what it has to be is Dick Still Dead. Because dead again, but he's already dead. It's actually, he's alive again when he gets sent to Earth. So I think it'll be Dick Still Dead.
But how many books do you have available on Amazon right
7.
now? 7 books.
Yep.
There's the HB
Please
Fist
follow
series.
me on Amazon. That would be very nice if you did.
The HB Fist series, which there's 3, I believe.
3 of those. Fourth one about a third through and 2/3 through, and I'm kind of bored with it. I don't know if I'll ever finish it.
And then there's the
Brace Heller.
Yeah,
Hockey.
Brace Heller.
Why do you remember Fist but not Brace Heller?
I don't know. And there's 3 or 4 of those.
There's 3 published, 4th on the way.
And then again, the Richard Keene, who is Dead Dick.
Dead Dick.
I can remember his name.
Yep.
And then there's the really spooky one,
Haunted House Story.
Yeah, which is Neath. Very good.
Neath is probably my best-selling book because a lot of people in Ventura were trying to. There's a street in Ventura called Neath. That's not why I used it. Excuse me, but there is. So I've actually had people call the radio station. We're talking. Which house on Neath are you talking about? And I always tell them, I'm not going to tell you.
One of the things I really like about the Scotty's books are they take place in and around Ventura.
For the most part.
Whether it's Ventura County or Ventura City. Dead Dick starts out in
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Yep.
And ends up in actually Santa Barbara.
It actually starts out in Los Angeles, and then it goes to the Betwixt, and then it comes back to Las Vegas.
And then ends up in...
How long has it been since you read it?
A while.
You should read it again.
Yep. Anyway, go to Amazon.com with Amazon Prime. You're going to get free delivery. And
the books are on sale right now. There's some good prices out there. And please follow me on Amazon. That helps a lot. So I would appreciate that. Thank you for that, Johnny.
Oh, you're welcome.
Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum are doing an Apple original film. It is called Fly Me to the Moon. And your first thought is, really? A rom-com? I mean, those two would be good in a rom-com. Don't get me wrong, and rom-coms are always successful, but it's like, it's not a rom-com. It takes place against the 1960s space race.
Ooh.
So all of a sudden, that gets a little more interesting. So we'll see. It could still be a rom-com. I don't know.
And it's called Fly Me to the Moon?
Fly Me to the Moon. Yes. So that's also in the news there. Let's see what else we got here, folks. No, nothing there. Nothing there. Pam Grier is working with a film company to bring her life story to the screen. Don't you think Pam Grier has an interesting life story to tell?
Oh, beautiful lady. God, the stuff she was in, such a beautiful lady and a fantastic actress.
Film icon Pam Grier has teamed with Village Roadshow Pictures to develop a project based on her best-selling 2010 memoir, Foxy, My Life in 3 Acts. This is from Internet Movie Database and actually Variety. Known as the queen of 1970s blaxploitation classics like Coffee and Foxy Brown, plus Quentin Tarantino's Oscar-nominated film, Jackie Brown. God, I love Jackie Brown. Such a great movie.
She was also in Mars Attack. Is it Mars Attacks?
She was in Mars Attacks, yeah. Greer's enjoying her latest act thanks to movies like 2023 Cinnamon. I have not seen that. I didn't realize that I'll have to check that out. The film kicked off her relationship with Village Roadshow Pictures, which produced the title under the company's Black Noir Cinema banner for Tubi. So anyway, that's exciting news for that as well. And I got to run, so we're going to end the show here. Johnny, you got anything else to say?
That's a good thing because I'm running out of room on my page.
Dang, that's some serious notes. Yeah, I got to hit the road here. I got to pick up my mom for breakfast. So
hey,
thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Go to your local theaters, whether it's a chain theater, especially if it's a mom and pop theater, and lay out some ducats and sit in those nice seats and enjoy the movies.
By the way, I looked up plethoral.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real word. It means the puck that's in the urinals at the theater.
Oh,
so thanks for pissing all over my books.
It's a bunch of books.
I made that up too.
Oh, I'm going to still use that word. Oh, he is so good when he does it to me.
Anyway, so we will talk to you next week about Late Night with the Devil. We're gonna go check that out this afternoon, and we
might talk about wild cards too.
We might not.
Mm-hmm.
I only got a couple days left with the wife being gone. So, when she gets back, then I have to control my TV viewing.
She might like it too.
She might. That's entirely possible. Sometimes she surprises me. It took her 2-3 years to like Curb Your Enthusiasm, which, by the way, tomorrow is perhaps the saddest day in television history.
Oh.
Last episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm ever airs tomorrow night.
Promise?
Looks that way.
Mm.
So, I keep telling people that. I probably should confirm that because I think there's only 10 episodes, but let's Enthusiasm series finale. You know what? I don't know for certain, but I think that it is. So it's on tomorrow night. Do you know who was on his show last week? Bruce Springsteen.
Really?
And Springsteen was pretty good.
Playing himself?
Playing himself. Yeah, he got Larry gave him COVID. God, that stuff's just classic. Anyway, if tomorrow is the series finale of Curb, it's the saddest day of history. If there's a couple more episodes, then that'll be later down the line.
Okay. This is for you and me and anybody else that wants. Our local theater on the 2nd of next month.
Yep. Wait, May 2nd?
May 2nd.
Okay.
Fall Guy.
Can't wait for Fall Guy.
And then this one I'm looking forward to on the 16th of May. If.
Yeah, If should be good. Ryan Reynolds and John Krasinski working together.
And like I said, when I first heard about what it's about, I'm going. My first thought was Drop Dead Fred. Loved that movie.
John has this habit of thinking that if a movie involves the subject, that it's a remake, and I don't know. You always do that. It's an imaginary friend. It reminds me that no, it's not. And then you saw the trailer, and you can see how different it is.
Oh yeah,
right?
true. Okay. But that's when I saw what it was about. I go, that's
what you always do.
Yeah, well, okay.
Just because it's the same subject doesn't mean it's. For example, there was another movie out earlier this month called Imaginary. I think maybe last month. Imaginary. It was about an imaginary friend.
Well, maybe that's the one
but that wasn't a very pleasant imaginary friend. It was a horror movie.
Oh, okay.
So see what I mean? There's tons of movies about that. I mean, it's like The Sixth Sense, when you find out that little boy, all the dead people were his imaginary friends.
What? Wait,
never mind.
Who were?
All right, folks, we'll see you next week. We're going to be at the Grape tonight, so drop by and say hi. And speaking of them, here's their commercial. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Brought to you by The Grape, Ventura County's premier jazz venue and cocktail lounge, located at 2733 East Main Street in Ventura. For menu and music schedule, visit them online at thegrape.club. This has been a Rough Edge Studios production.